Hi, Rocco Stano here at the close of TLA, Texas Library Association. And before we closed the exhibit, we were able to find Brandon Mull. Welcome, Brandon.
Hello.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
Yes. And when do you have time to actually be here? Because you're a busy guy. You just finished the Five Kingdoms series. This is the 5th book in the series.
Yes.
Yeah, and Time Jumpers.
Yes.
And so how does it end?
Yeah. I'll tell you how it starts.
Okay, tell us how it starts.
That's the things the writer will tell you. Because, we read because of curiosity, right? It starts off with some kids go trick-or-treating on Halloween, and they knock into a house that is run by slave traders from another world. These kids get kidnapped and taken to a place called the Outskirts. The Outskirts is divided into 5 kingdoms. Each kingdom of the Outskirts has different magic that works there. And partly what makes the Outskirts terrible is if you're taken there, the people who love you most forget you most. So their friends and family don't even know they're gone. They're on their own and trying to get home. They have a bunch of adventures along the way. So
do you sit in like a dark room thinking these things up?
No, I walk. I get outside like my, if I'm in a shower, I'll space out and daydream. But especially I like to get outside under the sky and take a long walk. And for some reason, like a good hike is very therapeutic for me for coming up with weird ideas. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This series and all of your series have been on the New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much all the stuff, about 15 different novels, and which is exciting because the whole reason I write them is hoping people have fun with them, and I get pretty good responses from anybody who reads a Harry Potter kind of novel or a Percy Jackson kind of novel, whether they're the Harry Potter adults or the Harry Potter kids. Those kind of people usually give me high fives for Fablehaven or for Five Kingdoms. Like it's right up that alley, kind of mainstream adventure fantasy.
Fablehaven, you have, is that what you have right here?
Well, yeah. Dragon Watch is my sequel series to Fablehaven. Fablehaven was my first series. It's the one that let me quit my day job and become a writer full time, and that one's about a secret wildlife park for magical creatures. Your premise there is a brother and a sister discover their grandparents are the caretakers of a secret wildlife park for magical creatures. And it's part of a network of wildlife parks for magical creatures around the world. Fablehaven was a 5-book series. It ended in 2010. And then just recently I started a direct sequel series to Fablehaven, which is Dragon Watch. In Fablehaven, there's dragon sanctuaries, because dragons are kind of the most powerful magical creatures. They sort of needed their own more rugged, dangerous realms to be...
Like an elephant sanctuary, sort of.
Yeah. Like the ultimate version of that, right? So you got these huge dragon sanctuaries, and it'll be another 5-book series with our same main characters from Fablehaven, but mostly at the dragon sanctuaries as they deal with a worldwide dragon rebellion. People who haven't read Fablehaven could actually start here. I reintroduced the main characters because it's a sequel series. Then if they liked it, they could go get backstory in Fablehaven. But people who read and liked Fablehaven, I'm getting lots of high fives on it. So like if you liked the Fablehaven world and you want to jump back in with those same characters and have a big new adventure, that's what Dragon Watch is. Book 1 is all that's out right now. It just released in paperback. And then Book 2 should be out in October. It's what I'm currently working on.
Here at the conference, we coined a term for people that write trilogies as trilogists. So let's see if we could coin a word for a person that writes a 5-book series. We could call him a serialist, or do you have any thoughts?
I was saying maybe pentagist if we wanted to get kind of...
So when you're described as a pentagist, you can say, I coined that at TLA.
But I'm also a trilogist. I do have one trilogy called Beyonders, so at least I've done that once.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to go back into your bio.
Trilogist, pentagist.
Yes.
That would be kind of funny. Yeah, I'll see if I can figure that out. I like that.
Right. So we were talking about time. So you have a lot of books. So to complete Time Jumpers, what was the whole timeline for this?
How long did it take me to do it? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I mean, it takes me about 5 months to lay down the draft, and then maybe another month or 2 of editing after that, working with the publisher. Sometimes 4 months. It's somewhere in that ballpark, and that's me hustling. I'm doing this full time.
Right.
And I tour a bit. I do stuff like this,
and walk.
Yeah. When I got 4 kids. You know what I mean.
Right.
So life is busy, but I think the thing that keeps me going is it's always been what I'm most passionate about is making up stories and telling stories. Mm-hmm. the side of making up stories is just how I came to Earth. It's just how I'm wired. Ever since I was a little kid, I lived in my head and made up stories. And what I had to do was learn how to actually share them. Like learn some craft to have them make sense when I wrote them down. But if you just left me alone and did nothing with me, I'd make up stories. That's ever since I can remember, it's what I do.
So you have 4 children. Are they old enough to read your books?
Yeah. My oldest is 14, and she's read all my books, and she's one of those eager beaver little readers ever since she was little. So she's read Fablehaven like 10 or 12 times, and she can be a fact checker for me. Like if I don't remember, were there electric lights in the dungeon? I can't remember. She'll remember for me, sometimes. But all my kids, to different degrees, are enthusiastic readers. Some of them more audiobooks, and especially the younger ones, more audiobooks. Yeah.
And where's home base?
I'm out of Salt Lake City area, so Utah guy. Grew up in California and Connecticut, and then ended up in Utah with my family, with my kids.
And so you're sort of a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah, in that I write at home. Right. Yeah. So I write out of the home. So my kids get to see me a fair amount of time, and if I'm not on the road, probably about 3 months of the year, I'm visiting schools and visiting libraries and doing stuff like this.
So what's next?
Yeah, what's the future? Yeah. So Dragon Watch is the first of 5.
So you'll be busy with that.
Dragon Watch primarily will be my main job for the next few years, is finishing this and making it cool. I try to write my books, my series, so they crescendo, and I think I have a story that's up to the challenge, that the books will get cooler. I also have a series called Candy Shop War that was never meant to be a series. I only wrote 1 book, but a bunch of kids liked it, and they kept bugging me till 5 years later I wrote a sequel. And some of those same kids keep asking, and even though they're growing up. And so I'll probably, at some point in the next couple of years, do a 3rd book for my Candy Shop War series. But
then you'll be a trilogist.
Then I'll be a trilogist again. Yeah. We'll see.
Well, thanks for being with us. And the conclusion. Thanks for being with us. The conclusion of 5 Kingdoms Time Jumpers and the beginning of
Dragon Watch.
Great, thank you.
10 years ago, 2 brothers brought peace to the lands of Quill and Ardame. And now, a new Stowe family saga begins. When an ice-blue dragon arrives in Ardame bearing grave news from his homeland, the twin Stowe sisters, Pfeiffer and Thisbe, come to the dragon's aid. Journeying beyond the islands, the uncontrollable magic the 2 sisters possess will be their only hope to rescue the land of enslaved dragons and right the wrongs of their past in The UNWANTEDS Quests, Dragon Captives, by the New York Times best-selling author Lisa McMann. Out now.